Beginning. The rescue that changed everything. Years ago, I never imagined that a single act of mercy could echo across the galaxy. My name is Rylan Voss, a human pilot who spent his days transporting supplies to colonies on the fringe of human space. Dangerous, yes, but profitable. And I was good at it. It was during a routine supply run to the Vale sector that I first encountered her, though she was far too young to know her own significance. I was passing near a remote settlement when I saw smoke rising from the horizon. A transport shuttle had been ambushed, its hull torn and on fire. Crawling from the wreckage, crying and terrified, was a baby, alone. No one else survived. Something in me didn't hesitate. I grabbed the child and rushed her into my own shuttle, dodging debris and enemy fire. The baby's tiny hand grasped mine, instinctive and desperate. I named her Elira, though I had no idea who she truly was. At the time, she was just a helpless child in need of survival. I flew her to safety, to a hidden station where I could protect her, away from the chaos of the galaxy. I never imagined that years later, this baby, once frail, screaming, and defenseless, would become someone extraordinary. A life of shadows and secrets. I raised Elira in secret, knowing only fragments of her true origin. Rumors from other pilots hinted she was the daughter of Emperor Kael'thar, the ruler of the Zytherian Dominion, a vast and powerful alien empire. But nothing was confirmed. To me, she was just Elira, the girl I had saved, growing into a curious, intelligent, and fierce young woman. She learned quickly languages, technology, diplomacy. Her mind absorbed everything I taught her, yet there was something innate about her authority. Even as a teenager, she could command attention without raising her voice, her mere presence demanding respect. One day, during a routine supply run, we were intercepted by Zytherian scouts. I prepared for a fight, expecting the worst, but Elira surprised me. Calm, poised, she stepped forward and communicated with them. The scouts' eyes widened. They called her the Lost Heir and bowed in recognition I could barely comprehend. I realized then that the baby I had saved had always been destined for greatness. My actions had not just saved a life. They had preserved the future of an entire empire. The court and recognition. Years passed. The empire had shifted. Emperor Kael'thar had died under mysterious circumstances, and the council ruling in his absence had been fractured. Reports reached me. Elira, now grown, had united disparate factions under her name, her reputation spreading like wildfire across the Zytherian Dominion. And then the summons arrived. An official holographic projection. Rylan Voss, you are requested at the Imperial Palace. The Empress wishes to meet you. I was stunned. I had spent years hiding in the shadows, knowing the importance of discretion. Now, the person I had saved, nurtured, and guided as a human child, the same baby clinging to my hand in a fiery wreck, was summoning me as Empress Elira, ruler of billions. I prepared for the journey, unsure of protocol, unsure of how a human like me could appear before a ruler of this magnitude without appearing insignificant or presumptuous. The meeting with an empress. The palace was overwhelming. Floating spires, terraces of glowing crystal, and halls that seemed impossibly vast stretched as far as the eye could see. Courtiers and dignitaries lined the corridors, whispers rippling like waves. And there she was, Elira, fully grown, regal, and awe-inspiring. Her violet eyes, so like the infant I had cradled years ago, locked onto me, and for a moment, time seemed to collapse. The girl I had held, comforted, and guided, now radiated authority so powerful it left me breathless. Rylan Voss, she said, her voice steady but warm. "I am grateful you came." Your Majesty," I stammered, bowing, unsure if I should kneel, salute, or simply speak. "I never imagined." "You saved me," she interrupted softly, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "Not just my life, but my future. Without you, I wouldn't be standing here. And I will not forget that." The court murmured around us. I could feel their scrutiny, the weight of my human insignificance in a room of alien power, but her acknowledgement silenced it all. She had remembered. She had recognized me. And for the first time, I realized that our bond transcended politics, species, and protocol. The threat emerges. Being recognized by Alira wasn't without consequences. Factions within the Zytherian Dominion, jealous of her rise and fearful of the human who had saved her, began to maneuver. Assassins, spies, and political rivals watched me carefully, uncertain whether I was an ally or a threat. One evening, as we walked through the palace gardens, Alira spoke quietly. "Rylan, they are testing you. Not me. Your presence here, your loyalty, will be questioned. You must understand that." "I understand," I said. "I only acted out of what I thought was right. I never expected this." "Nor did I," she admitted. "But fate brought us together. And now, we must navigate this world together. You are more than a human to me, Rylan. You are the one who preserved my life, and by extension, the stability of the Empire. Middle, trials, and recognition. Over the following months, I faced numerous trials within the court. I was tested in diplomacy, strategy, and even personal resolve. Each challenge revealed more about Alira's growth as a leader and her trust in me. During a critical summit, rival factions attempted to undermine her authority by questioning her legitimacy. I was forced to speak on her behalf, recounting the story of her rescue, my role, and the continuity of her life. The court listened. Whispers turned to gasps. Eyes that had doubted her leadership now acknowledged the truth. Alira's command was unquestionable, and my part in her survival became an undeniable symbol of her destiny and authority. She turned to me afterward, eyes shining with gratitude. "You risked everything for me when I was a baby. Now, you've risked everything for my reign. I cannot repay you, but I can honor you always." Ending, the Empress and the Protector. Years had passed since I first rescued her from death. And now, I stood beside Empress Alira, her empire stabilized, her enemies subdued, and her people united. I realized then that life had come full circle. The child I had saved had become a ruler of unmatched authority, and I had become more than a witness to history. I had become part of it. The court gathered for a ceremonial recognition. Alira stepped forward, her radiant presence commanding attention. "Rylan Voss," she said, her voice carrying across the hall, "saved me when I was a child. He preserved the future of our empire, and for that, he will always have my trust, my gratitude, and my protection." The courtiers bowed. Dignitaries nodded. Aliens of countless species acknowledged me, not merely as a human guest, but as the one whose courage had shaped the destiny of the empire. She reached for my hand, gently, as she had so many years ago, when I held her trembling in a shuttle's wreckage. "Do you see now?" she whispered. "You have not just saved me. You have safeguarded an entire future, and you will always have a place by my side." I nodded, speechless, overwhelmed, yet profoundly aware of the gravity and beauty of the moment. The baby I had once held, tiny, vulnerable, and unknown, now ruled as Empress Alira, and I had been part of every step of her journey. In that instant, I understood the truth. Heroism is not always recognized in the moment. Sometimes, it waits years, until the universe aligns and the lives you saved reveal the magnitude of your actions. The Empress and the human who saved her stood together, not just as protector and ward, but as allies, friends, and witnesses to the extraordinary power of fate, courage, and love. And in the glow of the palace, amidst the eyes of the Empire, I realized that the life I had once saved had returned the favor in ways I could never have imagined. The galaxy was vast, but in that moment, it felt small enough for justice, gratitude, and destiny to meet, and for the baby I saved years ago to stand before me, fully grown, powerful, and radiant as an empress.